بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على أفضل خلق الله أجمعين، نبينا محمد عليه أفضل الصلاة والسلام. أيها الأخوة والأخوات، طلاب وطالبات قسم الاقتصاد وقسم إدارة الأعمال بكلية الاقتصاد والعلوم الإدارية بجامعة الإمام، السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. أهلا بكم في حلقة جديدة من حلقات مادة اللغة الإنجليزية لطلاب وطالبات المستوى الثاني، وهي الحلقة رقم 22، وفيها سنواصل الحديث عن Simple Present Tense in English، والتركيز عليه طبعا هو جاء بسبب أنه هو أكثر الأزمنة أو شيوعا أو استخداما عند الحديث باللغة الإنجليزية. فنبدأ بالشريحة الأولى. طيب. Okay. Now there are some other frequency adverbs. Frequency adverbs, we said last time that they are, well, in Arabic we can say يعني العبارات أو صيغ لها علاقة بالتكرار، تكرار الحدث معين تستخدم. فإذا الشخص يريد أن يقول أنه مثلا أنه يعني مثلا يشرب مثلا الشاي مثلا 3 مرات في اليوم، أو يشربه دائما أو لا يشرب بالمرة، يعني فتستخدم هذه الأزمنة. أوكي. طيب، في هناك other frequency adverbs, like for example once a day, twice a day, 3 times a day, 4 times a day, and more, of course. You can say 5, 6, and whatever. Okay. So this is an example here. I drink tea and once a day. I drink tea twice a day. I drink tea 3 times a day. I drink tea 4 times a day, or more. And another example here. I see my roommate every morning. I see my roommate every morning. I pay bills every month. I see my doctor every year. Okay. Note that we can express frequency by saying how many times something happens. إذا ممكن نعبر عن التكرار ب يعني ذكر يعني كم مرة حدث الشيء اللي احنا يعني حدث لنا، يعني نذكره هل هو مرة واحدة أو مرتين أو أكثر. أيضا في ملاحظة أخرى هنا، the word every okay is singular. هي إيش؟ تستخدم فقط للمفرد. فعادة the noun that follows, okay, of course every, like for example morning, must be singular. يعني الاسم الذي يأتي بعد the word every here must be singular. So it is incorrect to say every mornings. فهذا خطأ. Incorrect means wrong. It's a mistake. فلا نقول مثلا every mornings or every days or every nights. No. All right. It has to be in the singular form of the word, of the noun. طيب، ننتقل للشريحة التي بعدها. Okay, and it is listening. This is listening number 7, and okay. It says here, listen to the sentences and circle the words you hear. فكما تلاحظون هنا في some words, okay, we will be of course listening to some sentences, and in them, of course, and in these sentences that we will be listening to in a moment, there are words like these, like morning, year, day, time, night, month, mornings, years, days. Okay. So one of these will be there. Of course, not all of them. I mean, in each sentence there will be either the word morning or mornings, year or years, and so on. Okay, so let's start listening and do the circling of the words we hear. Okay.
Exercise 8, page 59. Listen to the sentences and circle the words you hear. 1.
I go to work every morning.
Morning. 2.
I celebrate my birthday every year.
3.
Our son is 2 years old.
4.
I use my computer every day.
5.
Bob uses his computer 5 days a week.
6.
I eat 3 times a day.
7.
Anna listens to the radio every night.
8.
I visit my uncle every month.
Okay, one more time.
Exercise 8, page 59. Listen to the sentences and circle the words you hear. 1.
I go to work every morning.
Morning. 2.
I celebrate my birthday every year.
3.
Our son is 2 years old.
4.
I use my computer every day.
5.
Bob uses his computer 5 days a week.
6.
I eat 3 times a day.
7.
Anna listens to the radio every night.
8.
I visit my uncle every month.
Okay, there you go. So the first word is morning. And we say it morning, not morning. Some people say morning. And normally it's an sound at the end, so it's morning. Year, years, day, times, night, and month. All right. Using frequency adverbs with be. Okay, using frequency adverbs with be. Remember that we have studied extensively the verb be in previous sessions. Okay, in a number of sessions we studied the verb be, and now we will look at how it's used with frequency adverbs. We'll mainly look at its location, all right, in a sentence with the adverbs of frequency. Okay, so look at this sentence. Tom plus is plus these, frequency adverbs plus the rest of the sentence. So Tom is always late for class. Tom is usually late for class. Tom is often late for class. Tom is sometimes late for class. Tom is seldom late for class. Tom is rarely late for class. Tom is never late for class. All right? So the form here is, or the frequency adverbs here, follow am, is, and are. And of course, they are the simple forms of the verb be. All right? They follow these. Okay? They follow, of course, the verb here. The verb here, the main verb, this is the verb be, and these adverbs come right after the verb, and then the rest of the sentence. Okay? So we have the subject, the verb be, and then the frequency adverb. Then, of course, the rest of the sentence. And keep in mind also that we cannot stop here. We cannot just say, Tom is always, right? Or Tom is usually, and not say anything like this here. No, we have to complete the sentence, because if you say, Tom is always, and then stop, of course, the listener will say, is always what? What? When you say he is always what? I mean, you have to say something after the adverbs, because they, of course, give some information, right, about the verb, right, or about the information here. Using frequency adverbs with simple present tense. okay, or simple present verbs. All right. Now, I think we looked at the simple present verbs with frequency adverbs in previous session, last session, and we said that they come right before the verb. So, unlike here, يعني عكس هنا لاحظنا إنه the verb be comes before the frequency adverbs. بينما, whereas means بينما, whereas here بينما هنا with present or simple present tense or simple present verbs, right, like come here, the frequency adverbs come before, right, they come before the verb, and the verb comes after them. So they are between the subject, they fall between the subject and the main verb. So Tom always comes, and of course because it is singular here, Tom, the base form of the verb, we add s here, as we said earlier, remember? We add s. Okay, Tom always comes late. Tom usually comes late. Tom often comes late. Tom sometimes comes late. Tom seldom comes late. And Tom rarely comes late. And finally, Tom never comes late. Right? So these adverbs, all right, come before all simple present verbs except be. Except be, because be, of course, can be used in simple present or can be used in past, in present or in past. Okay, let's move on to the next slide. And here, of course, I included the more information just to show you the structure, the subject, frequency adverb, then the simple present verb, right, or verbs, except be. All right. Okay, now, first exercise in this session is exercise 5. And well, here in this session it is exercise 5, but in your book, which of course you follow with me, as we of course do all the time, as you do all the time, it's on page 60, and it is given number 9. So it is exercise 9 on page 60, and in this session it is exercise 5. All right, what we do here is we add the frequency adverbs to the sentences, write the sentences with italicized frequency adverbs on the line below. Okay, as you can see here, we have this is one of the frequency adverbs, one of the very commonly used, of course, frequency adverbs, one of the very commonly used frequency adverbs, always, all of these, this one, and we have often. Okay, the sentence is, Anne is on time for class. Now this sentence doesn't have a frequency adverb. It doesn't have a frequency adverb, and we need to put one here. So where would it be? Would it be the beginning, at the end, or where? Well, according to just what we have studied in this session, or so far, it falls where? Look, we have here a verb be. So the answer would be Anne is, because it's verb be. We said that, of course, they come after, right? After the verb be. So Anne is always on time for class. Anne is always on time for class. Number 2, we have the same frequency adverb, but this time we have not a verb be, but a regular verb here. Okay, and it is the verb comes. Okay, so it is like that. Anne always comes to class on time. Okay, so Anne always comes to class on time. The verb comes immediately after the frequency adverb, immediately after always. Always, okay, falls between the subject and the main verb. Okay. Number 3. Number 3 is often. And the sentence is, Maria is late for class. And this is the answer. Maria is often late for class. Again, this is, and the adverb comes after that, of course. And then we have often here, but we have a main verb here. So it's Maria, okay, often comes to class. Of course, this, we need S here, okay, but we have it corrected here. And I hope you've noticed the mistake. So often, right, is what? One of the frequency adverbs, and it comes right after the subject when we have a main verb like this, right? Or a regular verb, not a verb be, simple present or simple present tense verb, comes to class late. So Maria often comes to class late. Okay, next, of course, is the rest of the exercise. It says exercise 5, continued. That means in the next slide, right? And here is the rest of the exercise. It's not, actually we have more. We're going to have more. Number 5, we have never, never again, usually, and then seldom. We also have another one in number 10, but let's go through, these. So what about here? It snows in my hometown. Look, it and then snows. That's a main verb. That's a regular verb, simple present verb, and the answer, of course, is it never snows in my hometown. Certainly, it never snows in Riyadh. Okay. Well, maybe in the future. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alam. And number 6, never. It is very cold in my hometown. Certainly in the winter. These days, yeah. Okay. It is never very cold in my hometown. Well, this is, of course, this does not apply to Riyadh, okay, because it is very cold in the winter time in Riyadh. Not all the time. Okay, so it is never very cold in my hometown. And next one, Bob is usually at home in the evening. Notice that I have also added here the color here, blue, to indicate the verb be, right? So Bob is usually at home in the evening. Usually here we have a verb, a present tense verb. Bob usually stays home in the evening. Number 9, seldom. Tom studies at the evening. Tom studies at the library in the evening. All right. So here we have the frequency adverb seldom, and the answer is like that. Tom seldom studies at the library in the evening. Here, of course, the verb study, right, when it is used in its simple, it is base form, it's spelled S-T-U-D-Y, and of course when we use it with a pronoun like he, she, it, or with a singular pronoun or singular noun subject, we change that Y to I-E-S. All right, so here notice that the blue color words, they are the verb be, and they should have been, of course, let's just go back a little bit to here, and you see them here in blue. Okay, they are in blue color, and again, there you go. And let's continue with the rest of the exercise. Exercise 5. All right, we also have again seldom, right, sometimes, rarely, usually, and never. His classmates are at the library in the evening. His classmates is the subject, are is the main verb, the verb be, and then at the library in the evening is the, of course, completion or the rest of the sentence. So his classmates, okay, are seldom at the library in the evening. Number 11, sometimes. Well, the sentence is, I skip breakfast. And of course, that's the main verb is here, and it's the base form of the verb, nothing added here, and this is the answer. I sometimes skip breakfast. Okay, we don't say I skip sometimes breakfast. That's wrong. يعني ما نقول I skip sometimes breakfast, but I sometimes skip breakfast. That's correct. You can say I skip breakfast and then make a little kind of pause and then say sometimes. You can say I skip breakfast sometimes. Rarely. I have time for a big breakfast. I rarely have time for a big breakfast. Rarely comes before, of course, the verb, after the subject, before the verb, in between. Number 13, usually, right? And I am usually very hungry by lunchtime. Okay, notice that the color here, blue. And the last one is never. Never. And the answer, of course, is Sue. This should be, of course, capital. This S here should be capital, but it is corrected here. So Sue never drinks coffee. Sue is the name of a person. Sue, and maybe Chinese name or a Japanese name. Certainly is not an Arab name. So Sue never drinks coffee. Sue never drinks coffee. Okay, so notice that, of course, as we said here, the adverbs, and here verb be in blue, the adverb comes immediately after it, and here it comes between the subject and the verb, here between the subject and the verb, and here immediately, of course, after the main verb, which is the verb be, and here it's in between the subject and the verb. It's very important that we, of course, use them in the right way. There are some, of course, adverbs, frequency adverbs that can be at the beginning. You can say, for example, usually, you start with usually, you can make it at the beginning. Okay, you can start with that. يعني ممكن تكون بالبداية, some of them. Like usually, you can say, usually I am very hungry by lunchtime. يعني في ممكن تقول usually في وقفة بسيطة يعني ممكن أو حتى بدون حتى توقف. Usually I'm very hungry by lunchtime. That's another way of saying it. You can also say sometimes. Sometimes I skip breakfast. And of course some other frequency adverbs as well. And with this, of course, we come to the end of today's or this session 21. بهذا نأتي إلى ختام حلقة رقم 22. أرجو أن تكونوا قد استفدتم، وإن شاء الله ألتقي بكم في الحلقة رقم 23. شكرا لكم والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.